Oh, you can't see my shirt. It says it's beginning to look a lot like cocktails. Yes, it is. Hey guys, it's Sarah, and today's going to be a doozy. All right, I hope you're sitting down. I hope you're comfortable and you have some time because there's a lot of books to go through here today. I'm not going to go into detail about them because I have 40 physical books to talk about, and that's not including books that I don't have any longer that I'm going to be talking about. This is my December book haul revisit. The reason I have so many is because I had 3 different book hauls last December. I had an in and out book haul, which was my last one where I was, doing a ratio of books coming in, books going out. I had one of those. I had a Book Outlet Black Friday box that I unboxed, and I had an end of the year book haul, which was pretty big. So lots to talk about. Okay, let's go. And stay tuned for the end because I'm going to ask you guys a question that I want you guys to vote in on a poll for me, but that's going to be after I talk about all these. All right, so I'm going to tell you the book that I hauled, where I am with them, have I read them, are they still sitting on my shelves unread, have I unhauled them? So I'll talk about books that I've unhauled as well, just kind of my status on where I am as far as reading them or not. First one I hauled is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. I have not read this yet. I still have it. Still really want to. The second one is The Book Jumper, and this is by an author that I can never say her name. Meschild Glaser. Meschild Glaser. I probably butchered that. This is definitely, I think, more of a middle grade to young adult fantasy book. I really do want to read this. There's a sequel out now, and I think my daughter would like this as well, but I need to read it first to make sure it's age appropriate for her because she's only 10, but very possibly. So this is one that I really do need to get to pretty soon. Lily and the Octopus, and this is by Stephen Rowley. I have not read this yet either. This one scares me because it is about a dog who has cancer. And both my dogs had cancer and they both passed away, and I'm just not quite ready yet. Maybe 2019. I could maybe pick this up maybe towards the end of the year or something, but just as of right now, I'm not ready yet. And yeah, so, but I really, really wanted to get this. It's gonna make me cry. It's gonna make me cry. I know it is. So I think I need to be a little bit more removed from the immediate deaths of my dogs before I pick this up. But it will happen eventually. Okay, guys, and then I did something that I'm kind of regretting. And I feel bad about regretting this, but I bought a whole bunch of Jodi Picoult. The reason I regret this is because I picked up 4 books that I've already read. I've already read 4 of these, and I read them before I bought them. And the reason I bought them is because I was convinced that I needed to own all of Jodi's books. I'm rethinking that. I am now thinking I don't need to own all her books because she's very prolific. She has a lot of books that she has published. So they would take up a lot of room on my shelves. And not all of them have been my favorites. I haven't loved every single book that I've read from her. I've enjoyed every single book I've read from her. She's one of my top favorite authors of all time. And I do want to read all her books, but I'm kind of to a point now where I think I just need to keep my favorites and let the other ones that I didn't enjoy quite as much go. So I'm rethinking that as of right now. I still have them as of today when this video is going up. I still have them, but I kind of regret spending money on them. They weren't super expensive. I do not buy books at full price like ever. It's very rare for me to do that. So I did get all these secondhand, mostly on thrift books, but it's okay. So we'll see if I end up keeping all of them or not. I'm thinking more that I'm not going to, but what I did pick up that I have already read, I'll show you those first, and I'll show you the one that I haven't read yet. I picked up Mercy, House Rules, which I remember really, really enjoying this one. I don't know if I'd ever reread it though, that's the thing, but I did enjoy it a lot. The 10th Circle, which it wasn't my favorite. I mean, it was fine. And Plain Truth, which I think I did enjoy this one. Again, not one of my favorite books though. So yeah, I don't know. It's up in the air on whether or not these are going to end up staying in my house for the long run, but I did buy them last year. Now, the one that I bought that I have not read yet is this one. This is Off the Page by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. This is the second book in a duology that they wrote together, and it's more towards a younger audience. And I believe the first one's called In Between the Lines, which I do have as well. And it's more kind of a magical realism where the reader goes into the story that she is reading, I believe. So that type of thing, from what I'm remembering. But yeah, still haven't read it yet, but I did haul it last year. All right, the next one that I hauled was Animal Farm by George Orwell. I have not read this yet. Hello. It is so small. Why haven't I read this yet? I don't know. I just haven't gotten into George Orwell yet. I also have 1984, which I have not read. That one is longer. This one is less than 150 pages. So I'm thinking maybe some sort of readathon this year. I should probably get to this one, is what I am thinking. But yeah. And then I picked up The Streets of Laredo by Larry McMurtry. This is a follow-up book to Lonesome Dove, which I read last year and absolutely loved. And I did go ahead and pick this one up. We'll see if I get to it. I don't know. I'm kind of rethinking this one a little bit. I did pick it up at Goodwill, so it was very, very cheap. But it is, it's a chunky book. It's over 500 pages. Over 500. So do I want to keep going in this or not? Or do I just want to let Lonesome Dove be Lonesome Dove and let that be it? I may consult my mom, because Lonesome Dove is one of her favorite books of all time, and she's read all of them, I think. So I will ask her if it's worth continuing with this. We'll see, but I did haul it. And then I found a beautiful copy of I Capture the Castle by Jodi Smith. And I don't know what this book is about, you guys, but I got this because it came back in print and everyone was losing their mind about it. I'd never heard of this, but everybody was losing their mind about it and buying the book because it came back in print. It was out of print for a while, I guess, and now they've re-released it. So everyone is like, hauling it and freaking out. And then I found a really beautiful copy at Goodwill. And I was like, oh, I need to have that apparently. I don't know what this is about. This may be another one that I revisit and just see if I want to hang on to it. Like actually read a synopsis, because I still, to this day, have not read a synopsis of this book. I have no clue what this is about. Zero. So this next one was a definite cover buy for me because it's one of my favorite colors and I just loved it, and it's got graphics and it's cute. All right, The Miracle Life of Edgar Mint by Brady Udall. I did actually look this up on Goodreads, and it does have good Goodreads ratings. I think it's over a 4.0, which to me, that's good. So still haven't read it. And then I hauled Nemesis by Brendan Reichs, and I hauled this because this is a series that's been going around quite a bit. It's a newer series, and it's a science fiction, I believe, and it sounded interesting. He is the son of, is it Kathy? I think her first name's Kathy Reichs, who wrote the book series that the TV show Bones is based off of. And I loved that show. And I actually do want to pick up her books. But I saw this one there at Goodwill for a really cheap price. So I went ahead and grabbed it. And another one I picked up at Goodwill. Okay, I don't know. House of Leaves. This is by Mark Z. Danielewski. You guys, I don't know about this one either. This one scares the crap out of me, especially because I just saw Natasha talking about this and she scared me more. Natasha, you scared me more, honey. Like, I don't know. I think this is going to be a challenging read because it goes, like, the text changes constantly, which is weird. Like, this looks like typewriter text, right? And then it's going to go into different things. There's going to be, like this one has two different texts on it. Look, the one on the top is a different text than the one on the bottom. And I'm sure there's a reason behind that. But there's footnotes all over the place, which footnotes don't bother me, but it's going to get weird. Like, look at that. So this is backwards. You have to get a mirror in order to read that. Do I care that much? This side is upside down. Do I care that much? Is what I'm asking myself right now. There's going to be some that are just like that, like only at the top of the page, and then there's footnotes on the bottom. There's going to be some that are only on the bottom. Like, what is happening? So, and then there's another one that I think you have to actually decipher. Let me see if I can find that, because Natasha was showing that, and she actually sat there and deciphered it. You have to like break a code, or you're given a code or something, and you have to decipher what is being said. And like this one here, oh my goodness. This one is like this way. So you have to read it that way. Oh, it's so weird. It scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I've heard such great things about it at the same time. So like, is it worth reading? Is it worth going through all this stuff to read it? And I can't find the deciphering one. I may have passed it already. Okay. So I need feedback from you guys. If you've read this, let me know if it's worth it. If you've seen people talk about it who have read it and think it's worth it, let me know so I can find their videos. I'm scared of it. And I don't know if I want to put the effort into reading it. So let me know what you guys think if you've read this book. I need feedback for real. Okay, guys, I have so many piles down here that I have to pick it up pile by pile and keep it in my lap. I'm tired of getting up. So next, Beauty of Darkness, which is by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This one's on the chopping block right now because I have the first 2 books in this series. I'm not 100% sure I'm interested in it anymore. And I don't know. So, but this is book number 2. First one's called Beautiful Creatures. It may not be staying. We'll just see. As of right now, it's still here. Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon. And this one I still really want to read. It was on my TBR jar pick for 2018, but I'm not going to be able to get to it based on what I still need to read for December, so it's not going to happen. But I do really still want to read this. This is one that I'm still very excited about. River's Edge, and this is by Terry Blackstock. This is book 3 in the Cape Refuge series. This is a Christian fiction series that I've heard really good things about, and I have the first 3 books, and I just haven't read them yet. None of them. The Favorite Child by Philippa Gregory. This is actually sitting in my unhaul pile right now. I'm going to have more about that later, but yeah, so I'm definitely going to be unhauling this. It's book number 2 in a series that doesn't get very good reviews. And I don't know why I picked it up. I think it was just the author. I knew about the author and I thought maybe this was a standalone I could read. But nope, it's book number 2 and the first book in this series has very bad ratings. So this is going to get unhauled. Slate House by David Mitchell. I have not read anything by him yet, but I'm very intrigued by his writing. And this is a very, very small book. And I think, if you know, I think this is a horror book. Let me know. If this is a horror, creepy, scary book, I'm probably going to maybe read this in October. Let me know though. I need to know for sure. But that's what I have heard. And I've heard it's very good. So need to read it. It's a really awesome copy that I found at Goodwill. So I got it while it was cheap. But yeah, feedback for this one too, please. All right, The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey. This, I believe, is a paranormal book. I don't remember if it's zombies or vampires, but I think it's one of those 2 things. I've heard very good things about it. This has also been made into a movie, I believe, and I just haven't read it yet. Okay, so let's talk about a trilogy that I bought. A big, huge, ridiculously long trilogy, but I'm so excited about it still. This is the North and South trilogy by John Jakes. This was made into a miniseries in the 80s, and it was starring Patrick Swayze and James Reed, and Kirstie Alley was in it, and Kyle Chandler was in it for a little bit as well. I think not in the very beginning, but more into the series. David Carradine was in it, Leslie Ann Down, Jeannie Francis, like a lot of people were in this, and I loved it. I remember watching it growing up, and I loved it so much. I watched it multiple times. I even watched it as an adult, and I loved it. I would watch it again in a heartbeat. It's so good. And this follows 2 men who meet at a military academy, and they become very, very fast friends, and their families become very, very fast friends. However, this takes place during the Civil War, and one of them is a Confederate soldier. The other one is a Union soldier. So they are on opposite sides of the war, and that creates a lot of tension. Obviously, they are on very opposite sides of everything. Very good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And I want to read the source material because it was based on these books. And I have it on good authority from my mama that these are worth the read because she has read these. And she said, the miniseries is very good, but the books are very good as well. So, yep, I bought them because they were there at Goodwill and they are in amazing condition. And I haven't read any of them yet. Nope. Aragon and Eldest by Christopher Paolini. These are the first 2 books in the Inheritance cycle, which is a dragon series. And I believe the main characters are actually dragons and you get their perspectives and stuff. This is a bind up of the first 2. It's pretty. It's cute. I've heard of the series. I've heard pretty good things about it. Yeah. So I haven't read anything in it yet. The next one I picked up is The Bees. This is by Laylene Paul. This is an ARC that I found at Goodwill. This is an older book. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't heard much about it. I've seen it before, but I haven't heard much about it. So this is one I need to do some research on to really see. But I picked it up because I had heard of it and it was an ARC and whatever. Next one is Daring to Hope by Katie Davis Majors. This is a Christian nonfiction book about Katie and her work in, I believe, Africa. I believe. My mother-in-law sent this to me. I just haven't read it yet. It is pretty short, so I should get to it here pretty soon. But yeah. The next one that I hauled is one that I do not have any longer, and that's The Secret by Julie Garwood. And the reason I unhauled it is because it's a mass market paperback, and I just don't read those. They're very uncomfortable in my hands, so I tend not to pick them up. But I think I got that at a book exchange. But yeah, I didn't read it. All right, the next one is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This is the first book in a trilogy, I believe, and this is a fantasy trilogy that is based on Russian folklore, from what I'm understanding. I got this as a gift in a Christmas book exchange last year, and I just haven't read it yet, but I really, really want to. In the same book exchange, same box, I got Hunted by Megan Spooner, and this is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, from what I'm understanding, and I've actually heard really good things about this one. So this is definitely one that I still want to read. I just haven't done it yet. Here's one I have read. Yay! Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I have read this. I think the only books I've hauled so far, or that I talked about that I read before I even hauled them. So this one I read since I hauled it. Yay. Actually, I read it before I hauled it too. This was a reread. But I did reread it, so we're going to count that. I read this a couple months ago, actually, and really enjoyed it. Again, like it was a 5-star read, again, for me. The first time I read it, it was 5 stars as well. But yeah, absolutely love this one. It's a huge, huge book, so I was really proud of myself for getting through it. And I loved it. Like, again, it was 5 stars. And because I hauled that one, I found it on Book Outlet, I also picked up World Without End by Ken Follett, which is book number 2 to Pillars of the Earth. So this is the sequel. I'm actually currently reading this. So I'm very excited that I'm currently reading one that I hauled last year for the first time. Okay, last stack, guys. All right. The Women in the Castle by Jessica Shattuck. Haven't read this one yet. Still really, really want to. This is a World War II historical fiction, from what I'm understanding. Heard very good things about it. Haven't read it yet. Under a Painted Sky by Stacey Lee. Another historical fiction book. Another one I haven't read yet, but I've heard very good things. We're seeing a trend here. House at Riverton by Kate Morton. Kate Morton is an author that I now have 4 books of hers and I have not read one. Problems of a book hoarder. Yeah, but she writes historical books that have a little bit of a mystery, twisty element to them. And I think a lot of times they do dual timelines, which I love. I love that in books. I love dual timelines. So I think I'm going to really like her as an author. I just need to pick something up already. First We Were Four by Alexandra Sirori. This, from what I'm understanding, is a mystery thriller-ish that follows a secret society, which I am all about. Secret society is one of my buzzwords. I love books about secret societies. So I, again, haven't picked it up yet. And it has one of the best spines. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay, Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I have not read this yet, but Kristen Hanna is definitely an author I want to read more from for sure. And this one will be read at some point. I just haven't done it yet. The next one I hauled is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. This one I did read, and I didn't love it. I only gave it 3 stars. It wasn't as good for me as everyone else made it out to be. I definitely picked it up because of the hype. Some people consider it one of their favorite books of all time. Good for you. I did not. I did not enjoy it at all. I thought it was kind of boring. And I didn't care about any of the characters. So yeah, I unhauled that one a while ago. All right, so next one is Necessary Lies by Diane Chamberlain. Diane Chamberlain is another author I have not read anything from, and I think I have 4 of her books. So Another one that I need to give her a try before I buy any more of her books. All right, this one is The Shadow of the Soul by Sarah Pinborough. This is book number 2 in her series called The Dog-Faced Gods. I have book number 1, and I found it at a library sale, book number 1. And it was a UK cover. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of random. And I bought it because I like the author. I've read from her before, and I really liked what I've read from her so far. And then this one I found at the thrift shop. And it's the UK cover, and it matches. And I was like, what? How is this happening? 2 different stores, but the same like UK cover. Like, I don't live in the UK. This is crazy. So I grabbed it while I could. I know there's a book 3 in this as well. I need to read the first 2 before I decide if I want to buy the 3rd one or not. So I'm not going to let myself do that. But I do really like this author a lot. All right, the next one that I hauled is 4th of July Creek. And I do not remember the author of this book because I no longer have it. I did go ahead and unhaul it because the more I looked at it and the more I read about it and seeing some of the Goodreads ratings, they weren't that great. So I decided to unhaul that one a while ago. Okay, 3 more, guys. We're almost at the end. All right, this next one was sent to me by the publisher of, let's see, Clean Team Publishing sent me this. Canary Club by Sherry D. Ficklin. I have not read this one yet, but this is supposed to be inspired by The Great Gatsby, and it's kind of set in the 1920s in New York. And it actually has pretty good ratings on Goodreads, so I kept it. It will be part of my review books that I'm trying to work on my backlist of books that have been sent to me by publishers. So it's still sitting in the pile, just haven't gotten there yet. This next one is by Jodi Picoult. So another Jodi Picoult, and it is the perfect match. And this one I have not read yet. And this one I definitely want to at some point. So yeah, but I got a Jodi Picoult that I have not read. So this one will be for sure staying. And last but not least, we are ending on a bang, because I read this, guys. This is The Life She Was Given by Ellen Marie Wiseman. I read it and I loved it. This is going to definitely be in my top 10 of 2018. It's up there with like one of the best books I've ever read. It's up there. It's not top 5, but it's up there. It's in there. I loved this. This is a book that follows a girl who is sold to the circus, and I love it. I still think about these characters. I literally still think about these characters sometimes, especially when I see the book. I'm like, oh, it makes me clutch my heart. I love it so much. It was amazing. I loved it. Ending with a bang for sure. All right, guys. I'm tired. That was a lot, and I'm sick. And like, I need a nap now. I want your opinions right now. Okay. This year for my book haul revisits, I picked a book every haul that I revisited every month, and I put it on a list to read for this year. I did not get to many of those. I think I maybe got to 2 or 3. So that didn't work out very well. It got to be a little overwhelming with everything else I was doing this year as well. So it didn't happen for me. So next year, I want to know from you guys if you want to keep seeing these book haul revisits from me. Let me know. I know some of you guys really like them, but I want the majority vote here on whether or not I should keep filming these, because next year I'm not going to be picking books to read out of these piles. It will literally just be me showing you what I hauled last year and where I am on whether I read them or not. If you want, I could take a more mathematical approach to it and kind of show you the stats on them, because when I started doing this, I would keep count of, what have I read, what have I haven't read, what have I unhauled, blah, blah, blah. And I showed you numbers. And I haven't been doing that lately. I just haven't been thinking about it. So I could do more of that next year where I actually show like the numbers and, all that. So I could do that instead of, picking a book or whatever. So let me know what you guys want. I just want your feedback on this. So first, I'm going to put a poll here. Just let me know yes or no whether or not you want me to keep making these videos for 2019. I don't care either way. If you guys want them, I will do them. If you don't care, then I won't. It literally does not matter to me. So whatever majority votes here is whether or not I'm going to do them next year. And then leave me feedback down below if you want me to keep doing them, how you want me to do them. Don't ask me to pick a book because I'm not going to do it. It's just too much pressure. But I could, show the numbers more the way that I used to. Yeah, that would probably be it. Unless you guys come up with a different idea. Like, give me your feedback. Let me know if you guys have any ideas or whatever, how I could approach this. I just, I'm not going to be picking a book from each month to put on my TBR. It's just not going to be able to work out for me, unfortunately. So let me know your thoughts, your opinions, vote in the poll, all that good stuff. But that's the last one for the year. And I'm not picking a book because it's not going to happen. So yeah, but I'm excited to get all your feedback from you guys, my viewers, because you are the reason I'm here. So I need your opinions. All right, that's it for me. Don't tell me about any of these books. Just don't. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at this point. All right, that's it for me, guys. I will see you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.